I'm John Martinez, the owner of John's Sporting Goods in Everett, Washington, and today I want to talk about mixing up a very, very effective paste-like substance with a bunch of different ingredients for spot shrimp. This formula that I'm going to tell you is absolutely the proven winner over time amongst a lot of shrimp anglers. So let's talk about the ingredients. One of the bases of the ingredients is super bait pellets. This is 6 pounds of pellets, and that's what we're going to talk about, is mixing up 6 pounds of pellets, which is about enough for 4 pots for one day. So you're going to pour 6 pounds of pellets into a 5-gallon bucket. Additionally, once we pour the pellets into the bucket, we're going to put in 4 cans of Bumble Chub Mackerel. This has a lot of oils in it, so we want to save that because these pellets are going to absorb all the oils and the fish that's in this can. Number 3 is Friskies Ocean Whitefish and Tuna Dinner. This is a great base ingredient for this pellet formula that we're putting together for spot shrimp. This is going to be one of the prime ingredients. So we're going to put 4 cans of this cat food in our 5-gallon bucket. Now, we can put all these ingredients in a bucket, but once we mix it up, it's going to be too thick and we have to add some attractant to it. The attractant, which is absolutely essential because the oils that leach out of the pellets is what draws the shrimp over to your trap. So the last ingredient we're going to put in is one of 2 items. We're going to put anywhere from 2 to 4 cups of Procure shrimp and crab attractant. This is 64 fluid ounces. You don't need this whole bottle, but you're going to mix it up so that this paste is about the consistency of peanut butter. You can also put in your mixture some super bait oil. The same manufacturer as the pellets. This oil is absolutely essential, so you either can use the Procure or you can use the super bait oil. Use them interchangeably. One is as good as the other. Once we have our bait all mixed up, the day before you go shrimping, not the day you go shrimping, this has to be done at least 24 hours in advance so that these pellets absorb all the oils from the mackerel, the oils from the cat food, and the oils from the shrimp, the shrimp and crab attractant in either one of these 2 bottles. And so don't try doing this the morning before you go, because all you're doing is throwing the oil over the side of the boat. Once we get our bait made up the night before we go shrimping, we either want to put the bait into these barrels and have it ready for the next morning, or you're going to take these 9-inch bait barrels out in the boat with you so that you can put your bait in these barrels. So one barrel is going to have your thicker mixture in it, and your other bait barrel is going to have your thinner mixture in it. Now I've already mixed up the formula that we've been talking about. I have all the ingredients in these 2 containers. This is my thick bait in this container, and this is going to be my thin bait in this container. Now you make it thinner by putting more oil in this container. That's the only difference. The ingredients are the same in both containers. This one just has more oil in it to make it thinner. Now what I'm going to mix it up with is a 5-gallon paint mixer on the end of an electric drill. You can mix it up by hand, which is quite a bit more difficult, or you can use an implement like this and it really mixes up the bait and makes it nice and fine. Okay, now we're getting ready to mix this bait up. I'm going to mix her up with my electric drill, and so I'm going to continue to mix this bait up until it gets nice and thin. Now at this point, feel free to put some extra oil in this to get it real thin. Remember, this bucket here is a bucket where the bait's going to be real thin. So right now you can see that the bait's getting pretty thin at this point and it's getting well mixed up. This is my little chunkier bait in this bucket here. This is the thicker bait. I'm going to really have to hold on to the bucket because this bait is fairly thick here. And so I'm just going to mix it up until the pellets and the oil and the cat food and the mackerel get all ground into here. But on this bucket here, I'll show you a shot here in a second where the pellets are still all in one piece. Okay, once we get our shrimp bait all mixed up, we can either put it in these 9-inch bait barrels the day before, the night before, or you can load it in your boat. I usually load up the bait barrels in my boat. So once you get ready to do that, it's as simple as this. I'm just going to get a scoop of this, and I'm going to fill this container completely up. Actually, not completely up. I'm going to fill it about 3/4 of the way full. And I'll explain that in a minute. Okay, once I've got this container 3/4 of the way full of bait, that's just right, because I want the water to flow through one end of the container and out the other, and that'll disperse the scent out into the water column. Now this is where some anglers, shrimp anglers, try to economize on their bait. They'll pull their pot up after 1 hour and they'll put their pot down once again without changing the bait up. I change my bait every hour, and it makes an enormous amount of difference when you're out there shrimping. Now remember what I said earlier about the thin bait and the thick bait. You just seen me mix up the thick bait in one container, and I'm going to have another container with thin bait. Both of these are going to go into the shrimp pot, and they're both going to be down there for 1 hour. And remember, you're going to change them both out after 1 hour. Okay, Ann, we've got our shrimp bait all mixed up. What do you say we go down to the boat and prove to everybody that this shrimp mixture works really, really good?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay, here comes a load of spot shrimp. Oh yeah, that's a good pot right there. Look at that.